Well, my watch says it's 3 o'clock, so let's get started. I'm featuring today products from the Let's Go Fishing suite. My husband and I have a history of going fishing, and I thought this would be a very appropriate suite to use for a Father's Day card, which is coming up tomorrow. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers and men who serve as fathers. Hope your day is very great. So in this suite, you have some beautiful designer series papers, and there is an embossing folder that is like ropes that are laid right side by side. And this is the stamp set. Has good things come to those who wait. Happy Father's Day. Happy retirement. Congrats. And so glad that you're my dad. And then there are the dies that matched it, which goes into the back, onto the bundle. Let me show you the papers. There's one that has fish on it, of a variety of freshwater fish. And the back side is really kind of a cool plaid. And all of a sudden I'm getting a tickle in my throat. Excuse me. Pardon me. Okay, then there's this masculine stripe with pebble path color and fishing flies on the other side. And there is this pattern with fish that are in shades of blue, and then kind of a wood green or type thing with blue background. There's fly fishing rods and kind of a net pattern. And then this is the back side of one, a plaid. And then it has all kinds of flies, fishing flies. And this one we've already seen. So those are the papers. Put them out of the way. And let me show you the dies. They really have thought of everything with these dies. There is the outside die, which is the shape. It's almost the size of a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of cardstock. And inside that, they have this die that has the compartments so that you can make like a fishing box. And then there are a variety of dies. There's a die. Let me get out the stamp set now. This is the stamp set. There's a die to cut out that one. And this one layers on top of that there's no die for that, but it's a stamp. There's a die to cut out the fish, like so. And then this is a second layer on the fish to add color to it. There's a die for the float, the bobble. And then this stamp layers onto that to add color to the bottom of the thing. There is a die for, come on up, for this lure. And there's a die for the, nope, this is a die for, for this lure. And then there's this die that is embossed, and you can cut it out. It's an independent one. You can cut it out. This is like a flasher to track the fish, and there's a thing to, this cuts separately from this, but they're just held together for the sake of keeping them together. There's a die for the fish hook. Let me move that out of here now. So there's a fish hook die, and there's a couple more flesher dies. Here is a die you could cut out part of a like a line or a pole. And then there's this set of 3 little baubles. So that you get quite a variety of dies with this set. And they all fit very nicely into the tackle box. Let's see. I had them all fitting in here. There we go. And then as I took them out, and these 2 dies cut ripples in the water. Like this. And you can actually insert your fish coming up out of the water like that if it were cut out. So this one's even bigger, so you could have even more of your fish coming out of the water. See how that works? Very cool. It embosses as well as cutting a slit. And this die, the long skinny one, has just a cutting edge along here. So you can make a wavy edge like this, and then it's embossed along the bottom of it. And in the catalog, it has a really good example of how they've used that. For this one right here, they've cut see how it cuts the edge of the water, and they've done multiple layers of it in the 2 different colors, and it kind of changed the color of the thing as well. So that is the bundle, the bundle and the paper. Now today I'm going to make a double pop-up card. I love interactive cards. So this is the card. It says, "Good things come to those who wait," and Happy Father's Day. And the back side of this wavy paper is actually a marine map. And it shows the depths of the water and all that kind of stuff. Very cool. So I use that as the background, and then I use this fish pattern for here in the front. Now the fun thing about this card is when you open it up, the fish pop up out of the water. So it's closed, you don't see the fish. You open it, and there are the fish. Really fun. And I've made pop-up cards before with just one pop-up, but this one actually has 2. So I'll show you how to do this. First, we start 8.5 by 5.5 of boho blue cardstock. That is the base color, and this is the designer series paper that's going to go on the back here, and this is 8.25 by 5.25, so it leaves a border around the edge. Well, I'm going to use some snail or some Stampin' Seal to put this down. Now when you're adding a layer to this kind of a thing, it gets a little bit hard when you make your score lines in your folds. It makes it kind of thick. So I'm going to put in a couple of extra lines on the ends of seal so that it sticks good and solid. Like that. And then the front part, the base, the cardstock base is 8.5 by 2 inches, and the designer series paper is 8.25 by 1 3/4. The original design that I was watching video was in centimeters. It was by a woman, a demonstrator in Germany. But as I checked the centimeters versus inches, it came out to be almost identical, just slightly off, but it works well by just using inches. And it fits into our medium envelopes. Okay, next thing we have to do is the scoring. And we're going to score at 1 inch. Let me double check that. I want to make sure I've scored it right. Just a sec. Now, 1.5 and 3 inches. See, I thought I better check that. Let's go 1.5 and add 3 inches. Now, this is the back of the card. Make a valley fold here. Well, let me go ahead. So the front part, we're going to score on the other end at 1.5. And 3 inches. So you make a valley fold there. And make it as sharp as you possibly can. And a mountain fold comes back the other way. So it's going to be like that. And this one, because it's directional, you have to be really intentional on which end you put the fold. So this was the 3-inch fold. And this is the 1.5-inch fold. But I wanted to go the other direction. It's going to fold this way. So it's going to be a mountain fold and a valley fold. And this is the way the card goes together. And it folds up like so. And it opens up like so. So now we've got to do the pop-up portion of it. And these are 2 pieces that are 1.5 inch by 3. And I'm going to make a 1/2 inch mark on both of them. I mean, at 1.5 inch, the middle, with a pencil. And these mechanical pencils are great because they can go right through your stamping groove. You could just measure this way, but I find this really easy way to mark. Now, had I been using just cardstock that was the same color on both sides, or designer series paper that was the same on both sides, it would have made it easier for me. I'm going to make a diagonal from the mark, that half mark, over to this corner. Like that. But on the other one, I have to do it to the other corner, because otherwise I would have the reverse side showing when it pops up. So I did I practiced first with some retired designer series paper, and then after I made the card, I destructed it so I could actually see. So you see that this pop-up is on the back, and this pop-up is on the front. And you can see how this pop-up, so when it pops up, you've got the green would be showing. And on this side, when it pops up, goes like that. When it pops up, the reverse side would be showing. So that's why I had to score on the opposite side. So one of these, it folds down that way, and on this one, it folds this way. I'll cut off a little bit of the tip on both of them. No, wait. No. Now, if I want, so I'm going to be putting one on here. This is the front. And if I want it's going to go on this one goes so this one goes on this side. This one goes on this side. Get those out of the way. So this one's going to be going on this side, like there. And this one's going to be going on this side. Like that. Okay, so we got one going that direction. Yeah, there we go. Now they're the opposite. But before I do that, I want to put the fish on because I want to be able to cut the fish, to cut around the fish. And so I'm going to use a die cutting machine. To cut out, use this die to cut out this fish. Now, if I were stamping the fish, I could do reverse stamping and actually get the fish on the left side to actually be facing the other fish. But I just wanted to use these pre-colored fish that are from the Designer Series paper. So we have fish number one. I love that little mini Stampin' Cut embossing machine. You can get them now in the beautiful boho blue color for a limited time. It was a special for people who signed up to be demonstrators during Celebration, and they had some left over, so they are available for purchase on the website. Okay, so this is going to be the one that's going to be here. And it folds down like that. And I'm going to glue the fish. Now, you need to have it so that the fish is above the fold, or it kind of makes it a little hard for it to fold. Makes too much thickness. A little bit too much on there. So I'm just going to place him down here. Let him dry a little bit. And this one is going to go on this one. And it's going to show up like, it's going to pop up like that. So we need to have him above the fold, this fold. Kind of looks like he's jumping out upside down, jumping over backwards. And sometimes fish do that. They jump up and flop backwards. Okay, now I'm going to cut this down a bit. Could leave them up flat like that, but I want it to look like the fish were jumping out of the water, not the whole thing. So I'm going to trim. Sorry, moved out of the field of the camera. And since the fold is going to show that much, I don't have to cut it clear down. I can just stop like that. So that will show that much showing up, popping up. And then we'll start back over here. You can use cardstock for these pop-up flaps. But I was using the Designer Series paper to make it not quite so bulky. However, if you were using cardstock, it wouldn't matter which side popped up to the front. And it would make it a little easier to orient your things. Oop, I almost cut too far. I was so engrossed in talking and cutting, but it'll be okay because that's going to be glued down. I've also seen people use window sheet to back up the pop-up characters, and that's a great idea as well because you can see through it. Okay, so this guy comes onto here, and I want to make sure that when he folds down, it doesn't show. So that's good. I'm going to place him like that and put adhesive on this triangle. And I cut off the little corner, and I'm going to put that seam right at the fold. You could use tear and tape if you would like for this step, but I kind of like using the multi-purpose adhesive because it gives and moves a little bit. Okay, so now when we open it up, he will pop up like that. When it closes, he goes down behind. Okay, so now on this one, we want it on this section. So we're going to put it the same way and about the same height, and put adhesive on here. And fold that flap over. So when he pops up, it pops up like so. Since I cut that, I think I'm going to glue that one down. just have him fold down. So it's like that, and he pops up. Now, when I first tried, I tried putting them both on this thing, and that doesn't work. You have to have one on here and one on here. Okay, so now they are down, and we put together the card like so. But first, before I do that, I'm going to stamp the greetings on here so that I don't have the fish popping up in the way. So on this side, good things come to those who wait. I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight. This is a color that has come back. There we go. It was an in color, and they decided to make it part of the regular core colors. Good things come to those who wait. And then on the other side, I'm going to put Happy Father's Day. Now I found on my sample card that when the fish popped up, it popped up right in the middle of the greeting. So this time I'm going to move the greeting over a little bit. It may look kind of funny when the card is closed, but there, Happy Father's Day. Now on the back, you could put a piece of white cardstock to write a greeting on. Since this is light enough cardstock, I will just write my message to my husband on the back there. So I'm going to put adhesive on here. This would be, tear and tape would be good, or this stamp and seal would work just fine for this as well. But I like the using the multi-purpose liquid glue because I can slide it like I just did. Make sure I don't have glue there to inhibit that. And then I'm going to put glue on here. And fold everything flat and align it well. And then when you open your card, it goes pop, and the fish pop up. And like the other card, that fish doesn't want to go back down. He wants to be caught. But that's kind of cool when you have it standing there, to have that fish just jumping right out. Anyhow, I think it's a fun card. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed the challenge of figuring it out. And I love playing with it. Pop, pop. So one of the things about interactive cards that's so cool is that you actually make them do things. But they still can sit on a shelf. Be there. So there you are. Happy Father's Day. Good things come to those who wait. Thank you for watching this video. Again, I am Sue the Soggy Stamper. If you have any questions, you can email me, sue@soggystamper.com. My blog is www.soggystamper.com. If you need any of these products, I'd love to have you be my customer if you live here in the United States. My store is creationsbysue.stampinup.net. And I will have this video on my on my YouTube channel, The Soggy Stamper, this afternoon, so you can go back and review it and stop when you have questions and stuff like that. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock for another Fabulous Friday Facebook Live. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.